The Roaring Twenties took a little bit to kick in, but we're definitely in the thick of it now. Welcome to Everyone Who Does Music, where today we're looking at the 5th studio album for one of the most prolific bands in the scene, Pierce the Veil, with Jaws of Life. It's been a hell of a past couple years for returning and debuting bands, filling the long empty void where emo powerhouses sat, and Pierce the Veil sits as one of the most welcome returns. Their last album, Misadventures, was one that I felt flew under the radar big time, all things considered, outside of the singles like Divine Zero and Circles having good circulation for a good long while, even up until now. Songs such as Sambuca or Gold Medal Ribbon showed new shades of the band and more of their familiar emotional vulnerability, and here on Jaws of Life, it's the same vulnerability coming to light again in a beautiful collection of ballads. Even When I'm Not With You is a song that's risen in popularity since release, even above the initial singles, according to some websites, where the entire track is a dedication and proclamation of love to his wife, talking about how when the distance divides them, he still feels the tense power of love regardless. Pierce the Veil and love songs go together like glitter and glue, and this song is just another fantastic example of how Vic's lyricism is just as poignant when it's put across blatantly as it is with the usual course of action with some more vague, constructive lyrics. Straight to the point or sympathetic and drawn out, Vic nails it every single time. Another interesting element of the song is the use of one riff throughout the entire song, something that Vic said in an interview he had been trying to accomplish with the band for years now, and he felt like this was a big time accomplishment to now have accomplished. A different look at romance comes a track later with Emergency Contact, now tackling the idea that love can have rough edges along with it just as equally as bright spots. All throughout the song you see comparisons to different elements in a relationship, along with looks at rose-colored glass kinds of situations. One line that comes in the later half of the song goes, "Your speakers can't handle the bass, but you look good under the LEDs." While you, one person relationship, can enjoy a situation or aspect, the partner on the other side of the grass could see it and react differently. It's a passionate song that manages to keep the overall vibe low and steady, but communicate a hefty amount of emotion all the same. I think that last sentiment is the biggest factor when discussing this album in general. The fact that there's still a lot of raw emotion, love, passion, and all that poured into this album, and there is a lot of hard work showing in the polish and excellence that the band comes to us with here. You still have all the core elements of a PTV album, and while we do currently have a much less heavy sound overall, I think this doesn't detract from the album at all because of the greatness of the album, and if anything, this new lower tune amplifies it greatly. A lot of bands in the scene, longtime members and new additions, experiment with sound over time and try out new things, or overemphasize some pieces over others from album to album, and I think Jaws of Life is the exact kind of album to come out right now. The guys are getting older, more situations and life experiences are coming to them with time, as do new forms of maturity to be found many years past the maturity of becoming an adult. Songs such as Damn the Man, Save the Empire, and Shared Trauma exist as two connected pieces of tissue within the album's makeup, and serve as genuinely unique experiences all the same, just as past song comparisons such as Today I Saw the Whole World or Floral and Fading would on the last album. The point I'm trying to make here is that there is room for comparison and positive light, but this newfound sound and newfound set of vibes is also a positive light. A band is in its prime when it shows flexibility. Subdued and lower intensity in terms of noise and hyper energy doesn't automatically equate to a low quality album, and I would argue that before we finish up things here, honestly, this is a top 3 album from Pierce the Veil, if not top 2. I want to touch on a couple more songs, starting with Shared Trauma that I talked about for a quick second there before I wrap things up, because I think this song is one of the best examples of Vic's raw emotion here, with the decidedly stripped back instrumental elements aiding the process extremely. Hushing the lyrics to near whispers among the scattered production work from Jamie Preciado here makes for a beautiful soundscape that matches and intensifies the song's delivery. The last song I want to discuss is So Far So Fake, a song that sees an increase in tempo and a bitterness reminiscent of the first Punch, with it not being an especially angry song, but serving more as a song that speaks in defiance to a shitty situation, while wearing the face of spite. Overall, it shows that you can get a point across as equally significant using straight-on screaming and power as you can with measured words and intent, sort of like in an actual argument there. You don't need to be constantly screaming at the top of your lungs to get your point across that you're fucking pissed. The way you say your words and the words you choose can communicate that emotion just as well. Overall, as I noted earlier, and I want to double down on in the closing, Jaws of Life is the perfect album for Pierce the Veil to release right now, with it telling all the right stories and with an overall quieter tone. It fits thematically for both the boys' personal lives and the band's life as it has continued. There is a part of me wanting to hear some of the old straight up pissed off rough vocals like in past bangers, but every member of the band here accomplishes their job at different routes this time, and it's a home fucking run. For these reasons, Jaws of Life by Pierce the Veil gets an 8.8 out of 10, and that's the review. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Are you a fan of the new sound that Pierce the Veil is putting out? Are you still waiting for some like King for a Day type stuff? Let's talk about it. Let's get a conversation going. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you're staying hydrated. I'll see you next time.